Today, we want to talk about corporate real estate and how appropriate asset management technology can help boost the business success and productivity of corporates in 2021. Specifically, we want to focus on three things which should be ahead of all other things in 2021 if corporates want to keep being competitive and keep providing facilities to attract talents and to boost their success. CREM is getting more and more important function in large companies owning large portfolios of real estate. Each new crisis shows how important is a quality and safe workspace, not just for health reasons, but also for achieving higher productivity. As a non-core business unit, CREM is usually facing several challenges, such as limited resources, lack of industry know-how, and foremost, lack of or weak interaction with other functions in the company, such as HR, finances, IT, operations, and so on. And all this has come forward even stronger in the times of COVID restrictions, where corporates will need to rethink their workplace strategies. The future of office will be based around a mix of different styles. We will have central offices, we will have flexible locations, and surely we will keep some part of our work as a work from home or remote working. And I believe we do not exaggerate if we say that this is a game changer and a serious challenge for CREM function to adapt, or it's not too bully to say even reinvent itself in some cases. As Gartner argues, a high-performance workplace is unachievable without continual investment in people, processes, the physical environment, and technology. So even if work from home ratio will remain on the same level, the people will still need to interact as we are social beings. So we'll need interaction will also be needed by the projects that people work on in a sense of teamwork, motivation through people's relations, and so on. And to achieve that, the corporates will need to redesign work processes and reorganize spaces, as we already said. Namely, real estate and people are corporates' most valuable assets, and at the same time most expensive assets, and technology makes it possible to cut costs in both areas without sacrificing productivity, or even in some cases even improving productivity. So regarding 2021, the agenda for CREM teams, it all depends on the current state of affairs, so the current starting position. It depends whether you have been already working on flex working, whether you have developed digitization strategy, whether CREM has been integrated with other functions and with overall company strategy. Important to know is that decisions made during 2021 will have impacts on those who begin to differentiate themselves and drive a different value proposition. All in all, CREM function has for long years been stable and long-term focused, but now there is an opportunity to design a more strategic approach with reinvented CREM teams that drive business value and which is leveraged by smart tech and smart data. In the past 5 to 10 years, the focus in the real estate business, or so to say, the paradigms of real estate industry have shifted substantially. Operational excellence is still important, but the focus is shifting to the strategy. So CREM is becoming a more strategic function, a more crucial function to an overall business success of the company, and needs to be integrated in the overall strategy. The focus is shifting from buildings to end users or the occupiers. So not anymore buildings are defining how people will seek work, interact, but end users are demanding their requirements to be able to be effective, productive, and motivated to work for a corporate, for a company, and in specific environments. Focus is shifting from spaces to services and benefits. So it's not that important how large the room is, but moreover, what kind of technology it provides, what kind of services are there to enable the employees to be efficient and productive. There is a constant increase of requirement for flexibility. As we said before, we will need some fixed spaces, we will need some flex spaces, we will need to establish environment for possibility of remote working. It depends from corporate to corporate or company to company in what ratio those would be, but definitely only fixed spaces are out. And last but not least, the focus is shifting from workspace planning more to workforce planning. So the workforce is defining the space, the services the space offers, and the flexibility of the work environment to be able to be productive. So based on this paradigm shift in the industry, let's look at the three things we need to focus first, or we need to focus in 2021 in order to establish a framework for an effective CREM operation. First and foremost, CREM teams needs to reorganize and needs to redefine the processes. So as we said, the focus is not so much on what it was before, like operational excellence and tactical tasks, but more on strategic planning. CREM function in large corporates is becoming more and more important to provide for a productive and safe environment, as well as flexibility of work locations and processes for employees. Since this surpasses the basic function of CREM, which is technical maintenance, refurbishments, providing space for core business, CREM teams will need to reshape and reorganize. CREM teams will be faced with increased complexity, which will require new skills, new knowledge, and intensified communication with other support functions such as HR, IT, HR, IT, and logistics. Team will need to be more multidisciplinary and more strongly intervened with these functions. So for CREM team to be a great team, they will need to understand the core business well, and they will need to understand how real estate impacts business. They will need to have the know-how how to talk the business language and communicate properly. They will need to be able to identify opportunities and risks for the core business. This is very crucial role of CREM. It has been so far, but is becoming even more important in the coming years. And last but not least, again, they will need to understand and have the know-how of how to interpret all the data collected with the technology and communicate them with the business. Although operational excellence and cost optimization will remain one of the focuses of CREM teams, but still CREM teams will need to focus also on workplace solutions and strategies to provide for conditions for higher employee engagement, talent retention, and better interaction among employees. The second thing CREMs need to focus on in 2021 is adding value to the core business. Value of corporate real estate is often higher than the value of entire business. And therefore, CREM function has a strong leverage to influence the core business performance and company's overall success. To do that, CREM needs to prepare and align real estate management plan and integrate it in company overall business plan. The focus should be on cost and risk management, improved productivity, smart logistics, and employee engagement, as we said. For CREM to do that, it needs to be appropriately acknowledged by the business decision makers and strongly integrated with other support functions, which we already mentioned before as well. Apart from immediate measures required for prevention of COVID, such as disinfection systems, temperature measurements, reducing number of employees in the existing premises, CREM will need to work on other measures and approaches in 2021 to add value to the core business. They will need to work on rethinking space size, quality, location, and flexibility. Decentralization of locations, smart space and requirement management, strategizing over own premises versus rented, outsourced flex spaces, etc., etc. This will need to be key strategic considerations for 2021. Sorry. Corporate real estate costs typically represent 9 to 12% of overall company costs. Through implementation of technology and smart data analytics, space optimization, redesign, and work from home strategies, these costs can be reduced on half. Let's say approximately 5 to 6% only, and this is a substantial focus shift. This is actually a game changer for cost optimization. So cost optimization will remain a key focus for CREM, but how to do it will be a game changer, as said. So namely, pre-COVID, it was commonly known that there was a vast amount of corporate real estate underutilized. So as a large corporate, Vergesense has done a study on its 1 million square meters of office space. They found that an average utilization rate for the office was just 27% in 2019. Around 55% of space is unoccupied during workdays, and those who are present only spend 40% of their time at the desk. So think about these numbers, how much opportunity there is for cost cutting and optimization through flexibility. With new workplace strategies, there will be a far greater emphasis on team, meeting, and social space to align better to employees' needs. CREM will need to rethink converting existing premises to change the ratio between office space to social space, as is most often now 80 to 20%, and turn it around. So only 20% offices and 80% common space and social space. So this is again a substantial game changer. Spaces will need to be redesigned for optimized interactions, easy collaboration, and ultimately team health, well-being, and productivity. I think retaining and attracting talents, war for talents, employee engagement, millennials, designing digital culture, if we name only some of the challenges ahead. And CREM will have an important role to measure, analyze, and manage the data and communicate those to the decision makers and to provide for favorable workplaces. New technologies are becoming more and more simple to use and to implement, so there is no more excuse and no more high barriers to start using them. So already in 2021, companies can therefore focus also on occupant experience, employee engagement, and other interactive tools which are on the market, very easily deployable, quickly deployable, with an immediate effect with employees and productivity. The third thing to focus on is, as we've been discussing a little bit about it so far, is technology. So embracing technology, not being afraid of it, going forward, but still going forward smart and strategic and structured. So to accommodate and retain the workforce of millennials and beyond, will demand more intensive interaction and flexibility, and companies will need to engage in implementation of new technologies. So far, the view of CREM from wider business decision makers has led to tactical demands that encourage tactical responses rather than strategic innovation. But the new reality with focus shifts we've discussed before require a more strategic and holistic approach. To be able to meet this new demand, CREM teams will not only need to reorganize, but also step up and embrace the property technology and start implementing digital tools. For 2021, the focus of CREM should also be implementing ProTech solutions, primarily for technical and commercial portfolio management, safety measures, and employee engagement. So how to start? So what to focus on? Where we add most value? First, the corporates need to understand their real estate portfolio and the current portfolio and define what the target portfolio should look like. Second step would be implementation of a portfolio management solution or asset management solution, which enables the corporate to have a better preview, transparency, and understanding of the portfolio in numbers, analytics, and reports. Then, based on this transparent data, set up a strategy of space requirements, type of space required, and workplace strategies which the company wants to implement, and following add-on compatible technology innovations and solutions based on their potential to add value, the speed of their implementation, and flexibility potential. So there should be three focuses in when deciding for different PropTech solutions. So what value would they add? How fast can they be implemented, and how fast the value could be added, and what is their flexibility potential to scale up, to resize, to change in different departments, teams, companies, and corporation overall. So all in all, we have three things that we should focus into 2021. So the reorganizing of CREM team, adding value to the core business, and embracing technology which enables all these functions. In order for you to better understand how this can be done, I would like to show you for the end how we design a comprehensive portfolio management platform at Imagine with our new INEP asset management solution. So we collect all the internal and external data sets. We collect them in a central database, central lake, from which we report the data or pull the data in the software and enable the end users different functionalities such as workplace management, contract management, claims and invoice management, strategy planning, and of course, the most important, comprehensive analytics and reportings for different functions and for different decision makers. Maybe at the first, this infographic looks a bit complicated, but it's very simple. On the left side, you have databases which are internal, so facility management, enterprise resource planning or finances, document management system, and IoT applications, which all gather data, pull it in the data lake, and then we can work with this data in our asset management platform. And on the other hand, you have external data sources such as land register, cadastre, and other government registries, which are open and accessible through APIs, and we can collect automatically all the data, which then the end users don't need to worry about getting actual data, actual documents, and so on and so forth. And they save lots of time and lots of transactions cost over that. All this platform enables you to expand because it's open and interoperable with other solutions. It's running in the cloud, so it's a cloud solution, cloud service, and it's very easily connected and integrated with other solutions and exchanges data with other solutions. So with such a solution, which can be quickly deployed, you can increase employee efficiency. You can substantially improve reporting and analytics. Quickly, you can work on building cost reduction and space optimization with the space management planning tool. As we said, you reduce substantially transaction costs, where you don't need to go around different platforms, different portals or different institutions to gather documents and information, but they are automatically uploaded, and you can communicate with the society, with wider community in the cities through the interconnection with IoT of the city, smart city infrastructure, where you can exchange data in both ways. And you can also, in this respect, increase social responsibility, environmental protection, sustainability, and such similar goals. One more thing I would like to bring forward to all of you deciding to implement technological solutions or start the tendering processes. Focus on 8 key parameters which define a future-proof software. These are the parameters we work by, and we believe this is a win-win situation for the providers as well as for the end users and the corporates. So first of all, the software needs to be user-friendly and simple to use. This you can see quickly. Just go into software, see how you can work with it, how you find yourself around, and if it makes you frustrated, this is probably not the right software. For example, with our software, with INET, we don't even have instructions, because it's really so intuitive that with a couple of trainings, people comprehend it and can start using it immediately. It's important that the products are web-based. This gives you the flexibility to adapt to flexible working solutions, working flexible spaces, home working, so you can access the software from anywhere and from any device. It's also important that the products are cloud-based. So this gives you the flexibility of the amount of data you collect. This gives you savings in regards to IT infrastructure, hardware, and also IT personnel. The next important thing is modularity. So the provider should provide you with the tools that you need for your processes, not with everything they have, but the ones that you need, so they can really reduce or specify the solution according to your needs. As we discussed before, it's important that the softwares are open, interoperable, so they can interconnect with other solutions, because you need to exchange data, you need to show different data from different environments to different users, and this gives you this possibility. In respect to the provider needs to be flexible enough to provide you or allow you to co-develop the product. So some companies have specific processes which they need to cover, which add substantial value to their business, but are not yet covered in an existing solution, and the provider should be competent to provide you this add-on or this additional functionality. And last but not least, very important is also the business model. So leasing business model is again win-win for all, for the provider and for the end user, since it's quick to start. There's no initial high expenses. You pay as you go, and you customize the scope of the tools that you use, and optimize the cost of the solution according to your needs and according to your scalability. So this in short are the 8 parameters and directions where we believe corporates should be thinking in the 2021. We are in the challenging times. Times are not easy. We all have to adapt. We all have to start thinking differently. We all have to grasp these new paradigms if we want to exit this situation among the best, be competitive, and establish the right value proposition for our target market. And of course, CREM function is an important factor, an important element in this whole process, and it needs to be perceived by the corporates as such and given a more important priority to enable the business, to enable the productivity, and to enable companies to engage their employees and to be attractive for the millennials and the new generations in the future. So this being said, let's see if there has been any questions in the chat room. I can't see any questions at the moment. If there is any questions, I would ask all of you participants and anybody else watching later on. You have the contacts on the presentation in the video. Please contact me. I will gladly give you more insight and more details on how to start, where to start, assist you with ideas, how to set up the processes, how to implement the software when, and we can really work it out together in a quality way. So as I see no questions. I would like to thank you all for participating, for listening. I hope the session was valuable, and I hope to hear from all of you also later on, and keep in touch to future cooperation. Thank you, and bye to all of you.